Welcome, everybody. Week 3 of the Sacred Mirrors work. And tonight, the key focus is actually going to be on some energy processes that will hopefully be of value to you in future iterations or as you actually go through the work. Again, at different levels and different layers, and also to help to reinforce and heal some of the issues that you may have realized, patterns that may have come into your awareness already. How did you find the week 2 exercises? Have any of you had an opportunity to go through them at all? Just asking those who are actually with us in the conference room. Still working on week 1, mentally on week 2. Okay, great. There's quite a lot of work in the week 2 processes. So it may actually continue over a period of time, and that's where I think the energy work that we do this evening with the processes will actually support that. Hopefully it will. But there was one thing, and in fact, Paula, it was you that brought it up in our discussion this week. So I just want to share this for other people about the unraveling of the beliefs and how we actually likened it to a ball of string. So, for all of you that are listening in or going to be catching up with this later, I should say, one of the things that Paula mentioned, and you may find that this is very similar for you too, is that there's often difficulty because we've done over the years so much work on ourselves on identifying and unraveling a lot of the beliefs. We sometimes find it difficult to back to the very old relationships, which is where we started doing a lot of our work, and to find any patterns or triggers that are still evident in some of those older relationships. But what we found was, as part of the discussion, I said, if you take an analogy with a ball of wool or a ball of string, sometimes it may be easier to start with the most recent mirrors that are presenting in your life. And it's like catching hold of the end of that ball of string, the easy bit that's on the outside. Because if you try and dig into the middle and find the earlier points, as in the origin of that ball of string, and you try and unravel it from the middle outwards, very, very often what happens is you end up getting caught in the knots. Whereas if you start on the outside of the ball of string and you start unraveling it from the outside in, sort of from the most recent, from the outside in, those processes will very often then reveal what may still be residual in the earlier issues and ideas and belief systems that perhaps still reside in the shadows. So we may find that we've worked on some of the more obvious stuff and some of the surface stuff in previous work that we've done. And that's the depth to which this work can go. But if we start with some of the more recent ones, we can often then unravel and get to what may still be lurking within our own shadows in those original and older relationships and patterns, and it helps to put a different perspective on it. And of course, the more we unwind that ball of string, the easier everything gets. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense for you. And that may give you a different way of looking at some of the work. So you might want to start with the most recent stuff rather than trying to go back to your original relationships. Does that make sense, guys? Because I think it was Paula that astutely said, sort of looking at some of the earlier ones, some of the more recent stuff, is that she was starting to find out and starting to see what was still perhaps residual. Yeah, to get off at the go. Yeah, yeah. beliefs and family stuff. It is a very, very interesting process. And as I say, it is a case of peeling back the layers. And sometimes there are no shortcuts. Sometimes we want to go to the middle of the ball of the string, because that's where our light shines. That's where it is, rather than having it masked by all of this tangled mess, if you like, this sort of tangled ball. Yeah, lots of observation, re-inheritance from family. I have found that too over the years. In fact, it's become clearer and clearer, and very often that is a case of it only does become clearer as we get older and are able to step back from the emotionality of the engagement and the emotional connection with the beliefs, is that we're able to see those and look at where we ourselves actually inherit those things and do need to heal them. So it's a powerful process. It's a journey, as we all know. And as Geraldine astutely observed last week, it takes great courage to undertake this journey. So there is an absolute honoring for each and every one of you that has chosen to be a part of this and to undertake that journey. And I thank you. Now, one of the things that actually came up, I was talking about divine paradoxes last week, and I thought it may be useful to have a look at this concept of fate versus destiny, because there was this whole issue in terms of the principles of existence that everything that was going to happen in our lives was always going to happen. So we could take an absolutely fatalistic response and say, well, what's the point in doing anything if that's always going to happen anyway? So I just thought it's interesting to note the subtleties between fate and destiny. Because fate is what is virtually predetermined in terms of the circumstances that are going to be presented to us along the way. Where our destiny comes in is how we react, respond, and work with those circumstances. So therein is our choice. And as we respond to each of those circumstances from a place of deeper, more refined connection with our true self, we are more able to then step into our destiny. And we can look at this from a big, big perspective and kind of say, okay, well, what is everybody's destiny at the end of the day? And our destiny is literally to live our lives in the alignment of our true self and to bring that out into the world in whatever it is that we then choose to do. So, so what is actually written is not necessarily going to change. We have chosen the circumstances, we have chosen the events that are going to play out in our lives, but our destiny is determined by our willingness to show up in all of our true self garments, if you like, and to deal with those circumstances from a much higher perspective. So if we look at this in English, the word fate comes from the Latin fatum, which can be defined as a prophetic statement or an oracle. Literally, fatum is a thing spoken by the gods. So it's one way of actually putting it. The Latin word, in turn, has its origins in the Greek word theosphaton, which is a lot or a portion. So it's our portion of what has been written, if you like, by the gods. It's our lot in life. In Greek, the word can also allude to the three fates known as the Moirai. They were also known as three distinct goddesses. And in mythology, the three goddesses controlled the life of every mortal, each symbolized by a thread. One was the spinner of the life, one actually measured the life, and the other measured the thread, and the other cut the thread. So it's a process. The mythology actually anthropomorphizes this concept of fate, that everything in our lives is written. There's our piece of thread. There's the thread that we weave through and into the tapestry of life. How we weave that through is then our destiny. So yeah, and the wise mystics, the wise sages, all of those that teach the deepest spiritual truths understand this concept of our lives being predetermined in a sense and being chosen because of the objective of our souls, of our true self, in terms of unraveling what has actually become what is clouded, if you like, our um, ability to connect deeply with our true self. So if we have a look at destiny and what that word means, destiny is a more modern word by comparison. It's not as ancient as the word fate as such. And a lot of people use the words fate and destiny interchangeably, but they're not. Destiny comes from the Latin root destinare, meaning to make firm, to establish. Destiny finds its modern sense in Old French. In the 12th century, it meant purpose or intent. So our destiny is to live our lives with the purpose and the intent and the understanding of what fate has actually delivered for us to deal with, what has been set up for us to deal with. By the 14th century, it also referred to events that had already been firmly established by fate. As the history of language reveals, destiny is not interchangeable with fate. Rather, it is a word to describe the consequences of fate's determinations. And I quite like that because it is the consequences of the choices that we make in every moment that we are presented with one of those circumstances that is decreed or has been chosen by us at the soul level as uh, fate, if you like. Does that make sense, guys? Does that perhaps clarify the subtleties, the subtle differences between fate and destiny? Our destiny is to live as our true selves, and to work consciously with purpose and with intent with whatever life and circumstances are presented to us. Are you guys okay with that? I just felt it merited some clarification. Okay, that's good. Thank you. If you guys have any other definitions that you'd actually like to share with people, then that would also be great. But it's just to know that fate and destiny are not the same thing. And I thought I saw you typing something there. Have you given up? Yeah, I do think the word purpose is significant. That's exactly it. Purpose or intent. We live our lives on purpose, not at the whims of fate, but on purpose. We purposely go in and we meet all that life presents us with, and we do it consciously. So that is our destiny ultimately. So I hope for those of you listening in, sort of post the live class, that that will also make sense to you. So what we're going to do this evening, there's a bit more typing going on in the chat room, so I just went away it. Words can be one step removed from the meanings that we intend. Yeah, lovely observation, Paula. Very, very pertinent. Because words limit our understanding very often of the true meaning or knowingness of the energy behind it. So words can often be limiting. It's the symbol of a symbol. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, thank you for that. Okay, oh, sure, but I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, I've just drawn a line on the picture and I haven't got an undo button. Or do I? Yes, I do. There we go. Okay, I love this image that I actually just put on the final slide because it is one of those situations where you get a mirror on one side and a mirror behind it, and you end up with an eternal series of reflections onto infinity. And that is ultimately, for as long as we are in physical incarnation and dealing with the 3D world, we're dealing with those infinite, infinite mirrors. And what we see in those mirrors is determined by how conscious or how purposeful or with intent we actually operate through our lives, and how clear our soul and our true self actually is. So it's like what we want to see in those mirrors that stretch into infinity. The additional mirror healing processes, what I'm actually going to send you is I'm going to send you an MP3, which is DNA reprogramming. So you can actually use that again with intent. Once you have identified some of the replacement ideas and beliefs through the work that was the homework through week 2, you can then use the DNA reprogramming process to actually help to embed or instill those new ideas or beliefs into your genetic makeup. Bear in mind that everything that you do is impacting at the DNA level, because DNA in and of itself is an energetic template. So when we shift the energies around a specific idea or a specific belief, we are sending different signals into that DNA template. And as a consequence, the DNA template actually is then able to produce and manifest different proteins. And I mentioned this with a group presentation I did just a short while ago on ancestral healing. So there is a component, a very, very strong component of ancestral healing in our DNA through the Sacred Mirrors work. But we inherit, because we inherit a lot of the beliefs that we have, as in they are not our own, they are programmed, whether it's externally or whether it's through our genetic lineage, through our familial lineage, which is where we see the inheritance issue coming in. That is actually a crystallized belief system that has been handed down in the DNA. So what we are doing is we're shifting the vibrational patterning within the field in order to be able to shift what is being transcribed from a particular crystallized form in our DNA, because our DNA responds to epigenetic factors or electromagnetic signals. So that's really what we're doing. So very, very deep element of ancestral and multi-dimensional healing through the process. So the DNA reprogramming will be very, very useful. One other thing about DNA that I actually wanted to mention for you, I haven't put it on the slide, is that one gene or section of your DNA can actually transcribe up to 200 different proteins or enzymes. So our DNA is not fixed. They may be a fixed belief system that has actually been programmed into it, but with a change of electromagnetic signal, there is a change to how your DNA or messenger RNA molecules read the DNA and what it then transcribes from it. So if you consider that one gene or section within the DNA can transcribe up to 200 different proteins and processes, and those are the ones that they actually know of, it awakens us to this possibility and potential that we can program our DNA to do and transcribe different things. So as part of our healing, we can actually shift that. Paula has said here, it's like IT. If you change one bit of information, entire code will restructure. Absolutely beautiful analogy. The entire code restructures around it. So I think it's really helpful to understand, why this is being done. And it's not only the fact that it changes what your DNA does, it's an energetic shift that then ripples into the field from which DNA emerges. So whatever you shift and heal within you then becomes a reinforced new idea within the field that becomes accessible to others as well. And it's kind of like this idea that when there's a new invention, for instance, there is something that is programmed into the field of consciousness, and you can suddenly find that three people on totally different disconnected continents and parts of the world can actually come up with exactly the same invention at exactly the same time, and then you get the personalities getting involved trying to claim ownership and who was the first. But quite literally, it is something that is triggered from within the field itself. And that is what we're doing with everything that we do. And that is why this work is sacred and really needs to be honored, because it's not only shifting ourselves, it is shifting the collective consciousness as well. So this, Paul has put a note here. What's incredible is look how small of an effort is needed to shift the collective consciousness. Absolutely. They are small, continual steps. So I really just wanted to give that to everybody as well, is to not underestimate the value and indeed the honoring in this work. It is courageous to step into some of those shadows, but there is an absolute honoring from the higher dimensional realms and of your true self for all of this work. Really, really beautiful. So, yeah, thank you for that. I hope that actually makes things clearer. So, I'm going to send you that MP3 as a separate one, and then the process that we're going to do live this evening is a separate process that I've actually put together for you. And I can extract it as a separate MP3 once we've completed this as well. So if you guys, do you guys have any questions at the moment? You're fine? No? All good? Okay, that's great. So if you're ready, what I would like you to do, I'm just going to take a quick drink before I actually start with the process. Okay. Okay, so if you guys are ready, then I would like you to sit quietly, make yourselves comfortable, just give a little shuffle in the chair that you're in. Close your eyes, just rest your eyelids gently, and begin by simply taking a few long and slow, deep breaths in and out. And again, and with each out breath, just allow your body to let go of any burdens that you feel you may have been carrying, to let go of any concerns about the outside world. As you allow your energies to withdraw from everything external and to rest into a space and a place of peace and of protection and of love. Breathe in love and breathe out stress or tension. Breathe in love. Breathe out any grief or burdens. Breathe in love. And breathe out fear or hesitation. Breathe in love and breathe out any beliefs around self-worth or lack of self-worth. And feel your body becoming looser, more relaxed and freer. As you feel the space between the cells of your body expand, making space for more and more of your true self essence. And this is an inner journey that we're going to take this evening. So first create your diamond around you. And as most of you know, your diamond is aligned along the axis of your spine, connecting above your head to the soul star and below your feet to the earth star. And it anchors at the very base of your spine, at the tip of your tailbone. And it stabilizes as you ease into the space with your breathing. And you give the intention to embody as much of your true self essence or energy as your physical being can accommodate this moment in time. And with the intention, you watch your soul star energy center blooming open as a stream of golden light, swirling with iridescent particles of light, enters and moves through your central core column into your body and into your diamond. Allow yourself to be immersed and bathed in the sparkling golden light. Let your body drink it in. And let the love that you feel expand with each breath or absorption of this light. And you realize that very often the home that you seek is right here within you. All that you can ever need is here. You are home. And your diamond comes alive with its myriad of facets, with all of those iridescent particles sparkling and bouncing off, reflecting off the many facets, so that you are simply surrounded by millions upon millions of pinpricks of light. Each facet itself acts like a mirror. And as you focus on this, you become that light. Every part of your being becomes an aspect of that light. So in your mind now, create an image or a scene where you are standing at the bottom of the steps leading up to a front door, the front door of a magnificent dwelling, your house, your home. And you carry in your hand a bag or a sack that's as light as a feather but filled with treasures. And you walk up the steps towards the front door, and it opens almost on command as you reach it. And you enter your house. The house is you. You are the house. Take note of the color of the door, for each encounter within this house will have symbolic reference and relevance for you. Enter the hallway and notice how you feel in the hallway of this magnificent home. How much light is there in the hallway? Is it welcoming? How do you feel within this space? Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel uneasy? Is it airy with high ceilings and full of light? Or is it dusty and perhaps grey or dark? Take a look around and notice if there is anything within the entrance hall that needs to shift and change. All around the entrance hall are mirrors placed, and you are reflecting in each of the mirrors. So just notice initially what the reflection is for you in each of the mirrors. How you feel about turning to face yourself in each of the mirrors. And are the mirrors clear? And somewhere in this room, this entrance hall, is a book or a message for you. And that message is in respect of your levels of trust in accepting and welcoming your true self into your life as a whole. So find the book and find the message, whatever it is that you need to hear right now. The energies in this space will speak to you about trust, about surrender and your ability to surrender, to the voice, to the guidance of your true self in your life as a whole. And within your bag of sacred treasures, there is a symbol, a symbolic item that for you will represent a deepening of that trust and connectivity with the guiding voice of your true self. So, in this entrance hall, in this space, seek within your bag and find the symbolic item that you carry that represents a strengthening and a welcoming of that connection. Each one of you will have a unique symbol or a unique sacred treasure, and you take it out of your bag, examine it, hold it, and as you hold it out into the room, you notice that it begins to ripple, almost like seeing timelines or dimensions converging and shifting and changing. And you place it somewhere in this room, in this entrance hall. And the energy of this sacred symbol ripples out into the room, and it begins to shift and change and clear and uplift and strengthen your desired levels of connection. Notice how differently the room feels once you have placed the sacred item in it, and what you can do in your life from here on is whenever you want or feel that you have perhaps lost or are unable to get that connection that you want, or the guidance that you're looking for, is to focus on that sacred symbol that you have placed in this entrance hall. And it will immediately take you to a place of surrender and into this beautiful space. Take a look in the mirrors now. And you can feel the rippling effect of the shifts and the changes in this room taking place within your physical body. And you're now going to explore this magnificent house. So whether there are stairs, you can move in whichever direction you want, but you find the first room, and the first room represents your ideas and beliefs about the world in general, about safety, about survival, about life. Take a look in the room. Notice if the door was closed or whether you had to apply some pressure to open it. What is the furnishing like in this room? How light is it? Are the curtains drawn or are they open? How cluttered is the room? How do you feel in this space? Are there areas of the room that require adjusting or clearing out? What needs to be done within this space in order to shift perhaps a residual idea or belief, shift the energy in it, so that the light of your true self from the entrance hall is able to flow in harmony into and through this space, through this room. Just allow yourself to be with the questions. And if you feel immediately that you want to take action to change things in this room, then go ahead and do it. And in this room is also a book or a written message for you, which will give you insight into any prevailing idea or belief about life and survival and the world that may be influencing your choices and decisions at this moment. So find the book, find the words, allow yourself to be open to the insight. From within your bag of sacred treasures, sacred symbols, you extract reformulated ideas and beliefs of the world. Extract it from your bag. Take note of what it looks like, feels like, sounds like, smells like, and hold it up to the light as with a magical twist, the energy of this sacred ripples out of the room and begins to clear distortions. And if there is furniture that is still covered up and cluttered, it is immediately lifted and changed. It's removed, altered, until the room is furnished and alight in a way that demonstrates true self's perception of the world. Take notice of how differently the room looks. Have the colors changed? Is there anything else that you need to do in this space before you move on? Or is it okay for now? You can always come back here at any time and find that you can restructure and reprogram this room. So you leave and you continue your explorations in this magnificent house. And your body feels lighter and more expansive with each shift and with each room that you adjust. And you find another room, and this room represents your beliefs and ideas around money, What color is the door? How does it feel stepping into this room? What does the room look like? What are the mirrors showing you in here? What are the furnishings like? How much light is there? What are you immediately drawn to do in order to begin adjusting this space? Be in the insightful awareness of your true self as you explore and accept what this room is showing you. And again, in this room, you will find as you go about your exploration, take note of the symbolism of whatever ornaments and anything else that may be in this space. And you will find your book or what is written that shows you whatever residual belief around the issue of money may still be playing itself out in your life. Not just about money, it really is about the sense of worth, the sense of abundance. And now, from within your bag of sacred symbols, you reach in to find the symbol that you can place in this room, the object, the weightless object constructed of light, that will hold the reformed ideas and beliefs, that will support you in living as a true self in this world, in this dimension, and others. So dig into your bag, find that object, take it out, take a good look at it, understand its message, and allow the light of true self to ripple out into the room and begin the process of transformation as it anchors in the true self concept, the reconfigured idea or belief. Take note of the color of the room has changed, how much light there is in it, and what the mirrors are reflecting back at you now. And if you are happy with what has been transformed within this space, then you can move out and find the next room. And this room represents your ideas and beliefs that have been held around love and relationships. Again, take note of the door and the ease of access to the room and your first impressions. What is it that you immediately want to shift and change within this space? And what does that represent, or what does that mean? And again, as you explore this room, look for the book with the sacred words inscribed upon it that will reveal to you prevailing ideas or beliefs that may be influencing your relationships and your concept and experience of love. In all of its many guises and forms. And you are already feeling stronger from the transformation that has taken place within the other two rooms and in the entrance hall. Stronger and lighter, more courageous and more capable of undertaking the transformation within this space. And you seek within your bag for the sacred symbol that represents the highest or divine understanding of love and relationships, and the energy with which to begin transforming this space in whatever way, large or small. Hold up the symbol and see the light emitting from it as it ripples out into the room and as if by magic begins to shift and change the landscape, the furnishings, the colors, the quality of the light. You place the symbol in the center of the room and allow it to continue broadcasting and the ripples actually extend throughout your body, expanding your sense of power, strength, and courage. And there are many, many more rooms to explore in this space, each one representing a crystallization of beliefs and ideas, and many, many mirrors that reflect back at you your life. So just for now, let's find one more. And the next room is going to represent your ideas and views about power. So just go through the process again. As you enter the room and you take note of its existing state. This room holds the crystallization of all of the programmed ideas about your real power and about what power means to you. What are you drawn to do or to shift or to change immediately? All the while being aware of the reflections from the mirrors that are poking out between the furnishings. And find the book in which is scribed the beliefs or ideas that are prevalent in your life at the moment, which have been written into your DNA code. What did you choose at the soul level to come in and restore? What beliefs have been etched or written into the fabric of your being? Allow the insights and the aha moments to also reflect back at you from the mirrors, events or circumstances in your life now or in the past that show you clearly where that idea or belief has been made manifest. And you give thanks for in this expanded true self state and with the transformations already undertaken, you begin to feel a joy emerging and flowing through your being at the gift you have of being able to see, to understand, and to bring about change not only in your life, but change in neighboring lives as you undertake the transformations. Your true self sings with joy as more and more of its essence becomes made manifest through you. And in the spirit of that, within your bag of sacred objects, you find a symbol, an object, an ornament, or something to place in this room that is going to continue broadcasting your true self, perspective, and understanding of power. And it's going to support you in anchoring that into your physical being. Bring out the object, hold it up, take in all the nuances and the plays of the light flashing through and from this object as its energy ripples out into the room, and wherever that light touches, the transformation begins. And it changes the wording that is inscribed in the book. Look around you at the magnificence of this changing space, at the sheer magic of what you are capable of the power that you truly hold and are. You are a tour de force in the world. Feel the strength, the courage, the light, the joy of that knowingness as you place your sacred object in the center of the room where it continues to broadcast and ripple into and through your body, shifting, changing, unlocking, and allowing reconfigurations. And what was once hidden in dusty corners is melting away in the light of your true self. Notice the changing colors in this space. And take a deep breath in now in appreciation for all that you are, the absolute magnificence of who you are. And you know that you have only explored a fraction of what is in this house. There is still so much more for you to uncover. And you will notice that there are rooms marked children and religion and divinity. And they are all your ideas about the many, many aspects of your life, of your beingness, of your physical manifestation. They may be aspects that we have not even explored in the course of the workshop, but you see the words that are written on the doors. And notice how the portion of the house that we have worked in is alive with a new glow and a different light, and how that light is beginning to ripple through into the other rooms. So just be aware for this moment of what may be requiring your urgent attention for when you return to this house, in this space, then that is where your attention needs to be focused. So on your subsequent journeys, what are the rooms that you're going to need to take a look at? What you may find that if something has caught your eye around a specific issue in your life, that you do the Sacred Mirror's written work and then come back in a meditative space into this house and take a look at how that room and environment has changed, and perhaps then move in order to achieve different insights, deeper knowledge, greater understanding of how you can strengthen and embed changes taking place. And always your bag of sacred treasures and symbols that's as light as a feather will accompany you into this space And what you may wish to do is to find a physical manifestation of some of those symbols, something that you can use as a physical anchor that you can hold or touch or meditate upon in order to access the qualities that that brings into your house. And it will assist you in accessing the true self perspectives on any one of the issues or the specific issue that it represents. So for the moment, the front door to your house is wide open and the sunlight is streaming in, and all of the mirrors from the entrance hall are now reflecting back at you an incredible beauty. Take a look in the mirrors and allow yourself to anchor into the love, the truth, and the beauty of your highest, most divine manifestations. Feel the ripples of those reflections in and through your body. As you take a deep breath in and a smile on your face, you walk down the steps to turn around and take another good look at your house and notice how the outside has changed just from this small amount of work, and look at the magnificence of this abode. And in fact, you don't have to leave it if you don't want to. But take a look around now at your diamond grid and all of the facets of your diamond that surround you, and notice how much brighter, how much more defined, how much clearer your interconnecting strands are that allow and enable your true self to communicate across multiple dimensions in different ways and at different levels. And your nervous system is fired up and strengthened in order to enable this multidimensional communication. And with a deep breath, you accept that from here on, each step you take is a manifestation of your destiny, no matter what the circumstances that have been predetermined or that are going to present, that your destiny walks with you in each and every purposeful step in your life. Take a deep breath in now and breathe out with a sigh as you begin to return your consciousness into the 3D space, to become aware of your body, to become aware of the surface on which you're sitting, to become aware of the room and the environment, the sounds, and of your expanded sense of self as you gently open your eyes and you see with a greater, brighter clarity. And if you're ready, one more deep breath in, and you can lift up your arms. And breathe out. And you're back. I don't know if any of you are actually capable of responding at the moment because that process went on a little bit longer than I anticipated, but it just felt important to get that other room in. How are you doing? Profound. Oh, that's wonderful. I felt that while I was actually going through it. Very powerful. Lots has come through, loads to process and reflect on. Fabulous. Thank you. Truly wonderful experience, amazing, and love the symbols. Well, that's wonderful, and that will be very, very personal for you, and I think very relevant. And I just had this sense of, sort of going out and finding something that represents those sacred, energetic forms that reside within you to support the processes. So this is another aspect to the work in terms of reinforcing the energetic shifts and transformation. And it just is, it's so wonderful to share that with a number of you because the power is exponentially greater when we actually share in these processes. So I know that that power is going to be accessible by those who come into this process later. Quite a challenge in the energy today. Yeah, yeah, it would have been, as we were saying earlier, the energies have been pretty challenging to deal with. But I think hopefully this will be something that you can go back and revisit, or once you've got the process, can then go into and explore on your own different rooms and what they actually mean, the ideas that are presented. So I know that there's quite a lot that's going to be processed and reflected upon. I don't want to take up any more of your time this evening because I know that that was quite intense. I'm going to allow you to be in your space for the processing. And I will obviously send you through the additional MP3. So I would just like to say to you all, just a huge, huge thank you for being a part of this, for contributing your beautiful energies to this entire process, for sharing in this evening, for joining us live, and just thank you for being you. It's just an absolute honor to be able to share this space and time and energy and work with you. Thank you, Anne. Anne's just said thank you for all your efforts around bringing this into being. I know what you meant. Typo. One F instead of two. That's fine. Um, Thank you, Geraldine. Geraldine has just said, thank you, Julie, and to my fellow travelers, a truly amazing gift. Thank you, Geraldine. Thank you so much for being a part of this and for all that you do. To Anne and to Geraldine and Paula here this evening, and to all of you connecting in outside of this live process. Just thank you to you too. It is a beautiful group that together is actually making manifest huge and meaningful changes within the collective unconscious through this sacred work. And it is sacred work. Paul has just said something interesting. Well, that'd be lovely, Paul. I look forward to chatting to you. Lots of ideas about how to share this experience with the world. Well, that would be absolutely fabulous. So let's see it where we can actually take it forward from here. And for each one of you that's actually taken part in and participated in this workshop, what I would also like to say is that there are processes that you can then use in your experiences with other people, not just for your own learnings, but as part of the education of others too. So allow the ripple effect of all of this to guide others into their sacred mirrors as well, because every little bit of work that's done is then amplified through all of the mirrors that are there. So every positive change is magnified as the light is actually bounced off the changing reflections in the mirrors. How's that for a wonderful concept? So thank you, everybody. Yeah, and we're now at, I left this and said the 4 is significant as a foundation, and right now it's 2020 on my clock, which is 2-2, which is 4. And it's obviously the powerful 22, which has become hugely significant. So I look forward to connecting with each of you individually following this, and I will be sending this through. Bless your hearts all. Love you. Much, much love and hugs. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Enjoy the rest of the day. And I look forward to our ongoing individual connectivity, connections, and exploration. And with love for the rest of your journey. Mwah. God bless.